What's up, guys, and welcome back to the No Ball Knowledge Podcast, where today we're going to be covering Chelsea as we preview the English Premier League season. And, of course, the biggest news over there is the fact that Xabi Alonso will be the new manager at Chelsea. Now, Yadi, with every single new appointment, I always ask you, is this a good appointment for the club? And is this a good appointment for the manager? And I think people sometimes hear it and they feel like you're almost asking the same question twice. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Really, it couldn't be. And yet, I feel like in this particular situation, I look at it and I say it makes absolutely no sense for Chelsea to sign Xabi Alonso, and it makes absolutely no sense for Xabi Alonso to accept that job. Because I can see a case where, you know, the club goes after a manager that they shouldn't go to, but for the manager, it's a fantastic stepping stone in his career, a huge salary pay, an opportunity to prove something. It's a great move for them, but a terrible move for the club. We see it all the time, right? But this doesn't make sense. I don't see how in any of these parties they looked at one another and they thought, yeah, this is a good fit. How could they have gotten this so wrong? But more importantly, why is it? And let's give our thoughts a little bit more as to, and let's start with Chelsea first, why this doesn't make sense for Chelsea. Would love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, before I get into it, I want to say that Xabi Alonso's agent should be fired. I mean, whoever's telling this guy what to do, he's trying to set him up. For Chelsea's standpoint, it's a terrible appointment because Xabi Alonso is the type of manager that he needs time, right? He's the type of manager that is gonna come in here and he's gonna try to play a certain way. That's something that does not happen like right away. So he goes, I guess, his philosophy goes against everything that Chelsea is. Chelsea, if you look at Chelsea's best managers, have always been Mourinho and Tuchel, this type of managers that are good in short competitions, that come in and get results, like that are good on defensive managers. This is the complete opposite. This is a guy that he needs time to come in. He's gonna do weird stuff. He's gonna probably sign players that at first like you wouldn't want, but they're gonna work for his system. So this is a mess from the Chelsea standpoint. I mean, they needed, believe it or not, it would have made way more sense for them to go out and get Mourinho. A guy that's just gonna come in here and say, "F the playing style, F this, F that. Let's just go out there, let's just try to win and see what happens." So it makes absolutely no sense from that standpoint. From his standpoint, it's pretty much the same thing. It makes no sense to go to a team that goes by managers. I mean, every 6 months, it feels like they have a new manager. So you need the time. You want to go to a place where you're not going to have pressure, where they're going to let you work. And you go to literally the worst place on the whole footballing world for that to happen. I mean, this guy's last two jobs are a joke, are literally a joke. And I'll put my hand up if you want to take that risk, because it's Real Madrid and hey, Real Madrid is the biggest club in the world. Sure, take the risk. But you're doing this for Chelsea?
But what's funny, Yadi, is that like I don't think anybody looks at his experience over at Real Madrid and criticizes him for it. I don't think anybody does. Because Real Madrid, everyone agrees now that it's a shambles. Everybody agrees that the whole situation with the signing Mbappe absolutely destroyed their system. Ancelotti couldn't figure it out. Xabi Alonso's project failed before it even began. He talked about how the egos were a problem. Arbeloa came in, couldn't figure it out. Now they're back to Mourinho. And everyone knows exactly why they're bringing in Mourinho, because he's someone who's capable of managing the big egos, or at least, that's what he was famed for. So I don't think anybody looks at his CV and thinks, well, you weren't successful for Real Madrid. That was on you. I think everybody understands, no, 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 no. You were never going to be successful there because you inherited something where the players, for the first time ever, were actually bigger than the club. And to go from being a manager who does something crazy like winning the Bundesliga with Leverkusen, which is absolutely insane, you have somehow lucked out and being able to dodge the bullet of the press as being the boogeyman for the failings over at Real Madrid. You finally have an opportunity to put that chapter behind you, continue and pick up where you left off over at Leverkusen, and you choose Chelsea. It's crazy. And it's like you said, this guy has a very clear, defined style of play. He has a very clear system. There's a reason why there was a lot of unhappy people over at Real Madrid, because he wanted to play his system, not play the stars and the big names that the names required. And that's why it didn't work out. And when you look at a team like Chelsea that seems to buy every single player and their mother that's available, there's no clear strategy behind their transfers. There's no clear identity at the football club. You can't really look at Chelsea and say, this is how we want to play football. You can't make sense of it. And to bring someone in like Xabi Alonso, am I supposed to now pretend that the culture at Chelsea Football Club is going to completely change overnight? That the culture of the fans is going to completely change overnight? I'm sorry, I can't believe that. And unless Xabi Alonso has gotten a certain guarantees in writing, okay, that you're going to have time to build a team and you can get the signings on your own, this does not make sense for me at all for either club or manager. I think this could be a career killer for Xabi Alonso. And to win the Bundesliga with Leverkusen and then make decisions like this, I mean, this guy could find himself in a position, Yadi, where that just may have been the highlight of his career, and it's going to be straight down here, from here. Just very, very silly for him, truly.
Yeah, I completely agree. And the thing is that, like you said, nobody holds the Real Madrid job failure against him. But now it's starting to get to a point where it's like, okay, maybe we should hold against you the fact that you're picking the wrong teams. So yeah, like nobody's saying, oh man, this guy failed at Real Madrid. But if he goes and he does not perform at Chelsea either, people, I mean, I don't think anybody's going to be, oh man, this guy's a fraud or whatever. But people are going to say, okay, maybe his decision making is not the best. And if you can't even pick like the right team to go, let's just say Liverpool or Bayern. Like let's say Bayern, because like Liverpool just got a brand new manager. But let's say like Bayern is a job that's available. Maybe Bayern say, dude, you couldn't even pick the right team. Why should I bring you in here? Like, what makes me think that you're gonna pick the right players in the transfer window then? When you couldn't even pick the right spot to go for your career, when you were top dog, he was top dog. Because like, if you took out always like the Guardiolas and the Ancelottis and the like Flick and Luis Enrique, all these guys that have been coaching for over 10 years, he was the top guy of the young managers, even ahead of Arteta and whoever you wanted to, like name. Because like, let's be honest, what he did in Germany was insane from a result standpoint and from, like a playing style standpoint. It was amazing. This guy, he had the ball he scored. He could have picked any place that he wanted to go. He really did. He could have, and I feel like if you would have told anybody when he was a Bayern Leverkusen, okay, this guy's next step are going to be Real Madrid and Chelsea. But and forget the fact if he succeeded or not. Like you said, oh, Xabi Alonso's next two teams, whether it's in 2 years or in 10 years, are going to be Real Madrid and Chelsea. Like everybody would have called you crazy. Everybody would have said, no way, no shot. Because like the natural thing would have been for him to go to Liverpool and Bayern. That would have been the natural thing, the perfect team, the style that he wants to play. And like he goes to the complete opposite. So like you said, the career killer thing, it's 100%. I completely agree with you. Because yeah, let's say he has a terrible season, they don't make top four, and he gets sacked, which will most likely happen because we know how Chelsea is. They don't really
Where's
give.
he going to go now?
No, but not just that. It's like, yeah, like what is the next move now? Where are you gonna go? Like what's going on here? So then like the next thing that's gonna be is like you might have to go and take a step back or I don't even know. Like in that sense. Like that's why it gets to a point where I know like players and managers they have a lot of things in their head, but Xabi Alonso is not the type of guy that at least from the outside, like you look and you say, okay, this guy is not the brightest. He actually looks like somebody that knows what's going on. So it's like, how come he doesn't have nobody by his side or even himself to say, dude, like, what are you doing? Why are you going to Real Madrid? Why are you going to Chelsea? Out of every team, you go to Chelsea and you could already see it. I think if you ask anybody who are Chelsea's like best players, they will probably say, from last year, they will say Enzo Cucurella, Caicedo, Palmer, and Reece James. Those are like the guys that the club should be built around. Cucurella's gone. Enzo wants to leave. I mean, the other two guys are going to probably want to be gone soon. So Chelsea out of everybody?
And
Sometimes,
that's the
yeah,
craziest part. That is just like if I were to ask you what is the plan, what are the ambitions, what is success for Chelsea next season, it's just like I don't have the faintest clue. And I think that tells you exactly like where a football club is. And right now, from the outside looking in, it's just like I don't really understand what your goals are. I can't really make sense of the signings. Your best players want to leave. I can't make sense of your manager or appointment. And there's no really clear idea in terms of, well, what does success look like for you? What is success? What is the step in the right direction? What do you need out of the season? When I can't make sense of that from the outside looking in, even if you're not a fan, I think we can talk about any football club in the world right now. We know exactly what the aspirations and the ambitions are. That's a serious problem. And I think as of right now, and we could be wrong, it does not bode well for Chelsea. And I'm not predicting a very successful season from them right now. Not sure if you agree on that, but would love to get your final thoughts before we round off.
No, yeah, I mean, like you said, they have no clear direction. Nobody knows what are the goals. So they're just gonna go out there and try to play football and see if something sticks. If I had to predict, I don't think they make top four. I really don't. I don't think they make top four, and Xabi Alonso probably gets sacked at the end of the year because I mean,
Yeah, and I mean, and we'll cover that. I'm sure we'll do a video where we give our English Premier League predictions, and we'll give a little bit more of an analysis as to where we think Chelsea's going to finish up. But I think right now, yeah, it's safe to say out of the top six club, this is probably the one that's looking least attractive and the one that we're less excited about. Yeah, for sure. Well, let us know what you guys think. Does disappointment make sense for Chelsea? We'd love to get your thoughts below. Let us know, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.